life, just like the bits in a horse's mouth. The horse don't go where he wants to go. The horse go where the one who's riding the horse goes, and it's being controlled by our little bits. No, there's no flagman ahead. There's no whip. The way the horse is being controlled is by a bit in his mouth, and he goes to the destination of the rider by the bits. A ship goes where it needs to go, and a ship ain't just going anywhere. No, it goes the way the helm is directing it, and that little thing controls that big thing. It's funny how a bit can control a 1,500-pound horse, and here you are, about 100, 200, depends on where you are, and you can control yourself, and the littlest muscle is taking you every which way. You find yourself here, you find yourself there, you find yourself up, you find yourself down, and you're not being controlled by the Spirit of God. You're being controlled by your mouth. Every now and then you need to take a hold of the reins and direct yourself where you need to go. If not, you'll find yourself in a situation and you're wondering how I got there, because your mouth put you there. Stay with me. Am I productive or destructive? It's a bit in the horse's mouth. That's why the horse can go directly where the driver or the rider sends it. Even though the horse may not want to go there, it has to go there because it's being directed by the bits. Are y'all with me here? And so now we have the power to direct our lives by our mouths. And a small word can control the destiny of a man, just like a small bit can control the destiny of the horse. Whether the horse wants to go there or not, it's being controlled by the bits. So that's telling me my mouth is taking me places where, y'all better stay with me. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's because what I'm thinking becomes words. It's formulated. And my mouth said, you tired. Your mouth said, you tired. You say, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. And because we tired, we staying home. No, I'm not. Where you are, at home. Wednesday nights, Sunday morning, sitting at home. And you said you had control of yourself. No, you didn't. Your mouth told you we ain't going nowhere. And that small piece of muscle can control the destiny of a man. Are y'all with me? It can promote wrong direction, that tongue. It can promote wrong direction here. It can head you in places you didn't intend to go, your mouth. Have you started off flirting and you find yourself somewhere else? No one drove you there. Your mouth took. Y'all better stay with me. Your mouth took you there. Have you ever been in a situation and your mouth wrote a check that your butt can't cash now? Your mouth did that. You can say what you want, but ain't nobody drag you there. Your mouth took you there. Your mouth directs us. It formulates the thoughts and the intent of the heart, and it takes man to the destiny of the words that came out his. If I'm sick, your mouth is going to take you there, because whatever bit is in your mouth is the destiny of the rider. Stay with me. All right, stay with me. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going here. And so now, am I productive or destructive? I didn't intend to go there. Now I have to check my heart, because now the intent is formulated by words here. And now it has the power to steer me into or out of trouble. I can have my mouth get me in trouble, and I can have my mouth get me out of trouble. Have you ever been in a situation you wave your hand? Nobody ain't reading that. You better say something out your mouth. I don't need to be here. Are y'all with me? Your mouth can get you in some situations, and your mouth can get you out of situations. Okay, how do you know that? When I was at the altar and I got saved, I didn't motion God that I wanted him. Out of my mouth, I wanted him to know my destiny must be in his hands, and save me from my sins and keep me from all iniquity. Are y'all with me? It's out of your mouth. It's out of your mouth. Look at somebody and say, watch what you say. Okay. it takes me into verse 3 and 4. The small piece, the bit, the helm can take you in directions. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful now because it's only taking me where the heart is intended or the intent of the heart. And so now my mouth is only speaking what's on the inside. It has the power to bring me in situations and take me out of. That's why the Lord says, listen, follow my example. My word ain't coming back to me void. Follow, y'all with me? I sent it out and it would accomplish that which I sent it out to do. And when it come back, it's going to slap me high five, consider it done. And here we are, believers of Jesus Christ, and afraid to say something out of our mouths. I don't want to tell people I'm blessed because I don't know what's going to happen. No, I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. If I'm going to say something out of my mouth, it's going to be to the glory. I thank God I got what I have. And I thank God for a peace. Some people say you got a peace of mind, but if you say it, you may lose your mind. No, I thank God for a peace. Whatever comes out of my mouth is going to establish, is going to the destiny which I sent it out to do. And I don't want it to come back void. So now I pick up that. So the words that comes out of my mouth, it goes in touchdown and it takes my body there. You want to get out of your stupor? Tell yourself, I'm getting out of this stupor. You want to get out of your mess? Tell yourself, the Lord is bringing me out. Read my lips. Read my lips. The Lord is taking me out of this and he set me on high places. Okay, all right. Did I give y'all a point two yet? Okay. All right, now. So now here we have the power. We have the power now to take us into and bring us out because now I'm governed by the Spirit of God. And when I'm governed by the Spirit of God, I begin to speak life to myself and not death. You only speak death to yourself when you're trying to hold yourself. And it's going to hurt you because you're trying to do it yourself. This is why some people got to get away. When they saying something to you or you saying something, they got to run and they got to go. And girl, I just need to go home. I'm leaving work early because they going to make me say something. Wait a minute. They got that much power over you. I'm staying right here. And I'm going to let the Lord have his way. And it's coming out my mouth. Devil, you a liar. And God's going to get the, read my lips. God's going to get the glory out of this situation because I'm being governed by the Spirit of the living God. It's going to take me out of and it can bring me into. So we shape our words. Then our words shape us. Okay, all right, now you shape your words and then your words shape you. That's why you got to be careful what comes out your mouth because your words begin to shape you. If you keep telling people, just leave me alone. Y'all know I'm crazy. I ain't hanging around you much longer because your words will begin to shape you. Y'all better stay with me. It's because man don't know the authority and the power behind the tongue. They begin to say things and wonder why they're in situations and it hasn't changed yet. When God has given you the right and the authority to speak those things that are not as though they are. Why are you going crazy? Why are you about to lose it? Because you ain't being governed by the Spirit of God. You need to tell him, I'm coming out this mess. Were you still in it? Yes, I am. But I'm coming out. Read my... Because it's the words that shapes us. It's the words that come out of our mouths that shape us. I can tell you all shaky on the inside by the words coming out your mouth. I can tell you trouble with what God is doing by the words that come out of your mouth. Because if you don't have nothing on the inside, ain't nothing coming on the... Are y'all with me? All right, now. Okay, look at Ephesians chapter 4. Oh, we got some time here. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29. I got about 4 verses I want you to look at. And then we're going to get another point, couple points. I'm going to shout, I promise you. And then I'm going to let y'all go. Because I know what you're thinking. Do we have to be here long? I know what you're thinking. I got other things to do. But let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm going to preach until he says stop preaching. So you already know what I'm thinking. And I really don't care what you're thinking. So we on the same page here. God's going to have his way in his house because my strength lies in him. And he's got a bridle over my mouth. And he's got a bit on my tongue to be guided by the Spirit of the living God. Ephesians chapter 4:29. It says, let no corrupt communication proceed out your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister. Now, am I destructive or productive? Don't let nothing corrupt come out your mouth. What are you saying here? Because when that comes out your mouth, we wonder, have you been in contact with God lately? What do you mean? Because the stuff coming out your mouth, did you really talk to him this morning? What do you mean? Because why would you ask me that? Did you really show up in his presence today? Why are you saying that? Because what's coming out your mouth, I know you can't see it through, but we ain't asked you, can you see it through? The Lord can see me through. He said, watch it now. What comes out of your mouth, watch your communication. If it's not edifying, back up and ask God to change my heart, because I'm saying some stuff I should not be saying, and that's going to take me somewhere I should not be and make me do what I don't want and should not do. So Lord, have your way. Okay, that didn't help. I thought I would have some flag wavers, but that's okay. Proverbs chapter 12. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25. I'm going to preach as if it's the last. Even though I got to preach again, it's all good. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25. Read this. Heaviness in the heart of a man maketh it stoop. Okay, now I'm wondering why I'm saying the stuff I'm saying. Because heaviness in the heart of a man maketh it stoop. But a good word, my God, a good word maketh it glad. Okay, now I don't have to stay in this situation because I can talk myself out of this. Wait a minute. You mean that's what it is? I have the authority and I'm being led by the Spirit of God. I can talk myself out of this. In other words, I can say they shut down. I'm going to shut in and give God more praise. Wait a minute, hold on. That don't make sense. It does. When I'm acting in the supernatural and I'm being led by the Spirit of God, I can talk myself out of this. Proverbs chapter 15. Proverbs chapter 15, verse 23. Proverbs chapter 15. Chapter 15, verse 23. A man hath joy by the answer of his, good God Almighty, and a word spoken in due season. Now, you don't know when your due season. So that means I need to speak it all the time. Proverbs 15, verse 4. Proverbs 15, verse 4. We're going to shout up in here. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach. So what's been cutting me off from my destiny? Chapter 16. Proverbs chapter 16. A breach in the spirit. When your tongue is not connected to your destiny, there's a breach in the spirit. Chapter 16, Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to and health. Are we on the same page here? Okay. So righteous words don't cost much, but they accomplish much. If I just speak the words that the Spirit of God is telling me to speak, it brings health to my bones. In whatever situation I find, that's why Paul says, wherever I'm at, I'm content. Wait a minute. What you saying out of your mouth? I'm saying I'm here, but I don't have to say I'm here. That didn't work. That didn't work? Okay, point two. I got one flag waver. We got 100 flags and one flag. Okay. Point two here. Write this second point down. The point is this. Just because you can say it doesn't mean you have to say it. Okay, just because you got the right to say, we know you grown, we know you mature, we know you live on your own. You don't have to say it though. Just because you can say it don't mean you have to say it. Look at verse 6, what happens here. In James chapter 3 verse 6 he says this, and the tongue is a fire and a whirl of iniquity. So is the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members that it defile the whole body and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set the fire of hell. Okay, let me just say this. Back in 1871, around October 8th, in O'Leary, Chicago, there was a fire that broke out, and 100,000 people were homeless, and 17,000 buildings were destroyed. 300 people were killed. $400 million worth of work need to be done. And tradition says the fire started in the barn when a cow kicked over a lantern. All that happened at God, I ain't get that one. I thought you would get that one. All that damage came from a cow who kicked over a lantern and destroyed a whole city in 1871. It wasn't that everybody was setting a fire. A cow just accidentally kicked over a lantern. How many words you accidentally said and destroyed so much stuff in your life that you wish if I can bring it back, I would have never told you that. I would have never said that. If I can bring it back, I'll change whatever I said and make it right. Am I in the right place here? And because you can say it, don't mean you have to say it. Show some self-control. Just shut your mouth and keep it to yourself, because the Lord is reading exactly what your thoughts are. And you better be glad that he don't let it fall out. Are y'all with me? Okay, here. He said, now this fire starts. This little small muscle said something, and now it kindled a forest fire. Now it's destroying everything out of your mouth. Okay, all right, I need to go there. How many have said back in the day to girlfriends, boyfriends, I love you. You didn't really want it. You didn't really love them. But now they took hold to that. And now you're saying, I wish I never told them that. Y'all better stay with me. How many times have you said something out your mouth just to try to get out of a situation? But now you got to say something else out of your mouth to get out of that situation. And the last time you checked, 10 years later, you still saying stuff out your mouth to get out of your situation. Sometimes 1 minute of mouth can give you 15 years of heartache. Okay. All right. Okay. Stay with me. Verse 6, he's telling us an unchecked tongue can stain the whole body. An unchecked tongue can stain the whole body. And since the mouth is the opening that vents whatever's in the heart, what's in the well comes out in the bucket. And when it comes out, it's no need of Brother Treat looking and saying, I wonder where that came from. It came in the well. What's in the well gonna come out in the bucket. So what you saying? If it's raw sewage in the heart, there will be raw sewage gushing out your mouth. That's why I said, Lord, create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit so I don't let no sewage come out my... Maybe that didn't work. Proverbs 4:23 says this. It says, watch over your hearts with diligence. From it flows the springs of life. You got to watch your heart so that you won't let things gush out. Lord, keep your hand on my life because I don't want it to come out. Clean it up. Clean it up. So whatever been drawn out can show what's on the inside. Sometimes I wonder, some of the things that come out of people's mouths, I can only imagine how dirty that inside is. Man, that came out your mouth. Good nice. You said that's my God. How long you been saved? But what's in the well, baby, is coming out. Don't try to explain it. We just went for a dip and I saw what's on the inside. Okay. All right. All right, let me serve notice on you on this one. The proof that God's Spirit is working in your life is not just the speaking of the unknown tongues, but learning how to control the tongues you do know. You all speaking in tongues and life is all messed up and you seeing all kinds of stuff, but you can speak an unknown tongue, but you can't control the tongue you do know. The Lord ain't working. Stop fooling yourself, because how can bitter and sweet come out the same mouth? You can't say hallelujah and tell somebody to go to hell at the same time. How can it be out of your mouth that bitter and sweet? Look at somebody and say, watch what you say. I'm scared. I get scared for those that can say hallelujah and bless the Lord. And I'm blessed and highly favored. And then out of the same mouth, cut somebody off and start cussing at them because they took their parking space that don't really belong to them. How can it come out of the same mouth? At least give it some time for God to work on it. Y'all with me? It doesn't matter. You probably cussing me out right now. I'm so glad I'm not reading your mind, but read my mind. I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continually. All right. Y'all with me? Okay, here. These are things I call. I call these, Bishop Ogbu, I call them verbal arson that can start major fires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I give you some verbal arsons that will start major fires? And you have to let the Lord have his way and not you have your way. You can just hear them or you can write them down. But I call these verbal arsons. One verbal arson is this. Have you heard? I know that don't make sense, but that can start a fire. Have you heard? Can tear up a building and rip up a street by the words, have you heard? Can I give you another one? Another arson here is, did you know? Can rip up a family, destroy children, and mess up a marriage. Did you know? These are verbal arsons that if they drop, they can blow up a situation. Can I give you one more? They tell me, watch yourself. What you putting down? You done ignited some mess. And you thought you didn't say nothing. Yes, you did. They tell me. What did they tell you? Did they tell you the Lord said stop gossiping? Did they tell you the Lord said put a bit in your mouth and a bridle on your tongue? Did they tell you that they are a child of God? And when you talk about them, you're talking about God. Did they tell you right? No, they didn't tell you. Okay. Verbal awesomes. Y'all with me? Another verbal awesome Keep this to yourself. I done seen more church fires get started with that. I got to tell you something. But keep this to yourself. I am while I'm in front of you. But once I leave you, I'm going to tell the next person, take this match and keep this to yourself. But if it's burning up my hand, I'm going to drop it. So y'all better stay with me. Another verbal arson. Another verbal arson. I didn't believe it was true, but I heard. Can destroy a Christian life and one who's seeking God for answers. I didn't believe it was true, but I heard. And you leave it like that, as if you did something right. But the last time I checked, as soon as you drop the match, you done caused the fire. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Okay, I got one. Minister Reggie, I got one that's in the church right now. I'm only telling you this so that you can pray. I done saw more people on fire leaving this church than I ever saw at a firehouse. I'm only telling you this so that you can pray. And they tell you in detail. Why didn't they just say, let's pray? Because they trying to start fires. But they don't want you to see the one who started the fire. But if I open my mouth and I drop out a fire like that, ain't no telling what the devil can do with that. So before you share arson, you need to ask the Lord, burn up my mouth. And whatever I need, you keep. And whatever I don't need, you destroy. Y'all with me? Okay. 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 I got one for you. And you tweet this one. The tongue is in a wet place, so it can be slippery. And it can easily slip. Y'all get that one? The tongue is in a wet place, so it can easily slip. I didn't get that? Yeah. Okay. It can easily slip. In a slip of the tongue. No way, it was sitting in a wet place. But that's the intentions of the heart. When people come to you to gossip and people come to you to pull someone down, it ain't that they just thought of it. It's because it was in the hearts. And sewage begat sewage. And trash begat trash. What you need to tell them, I'm going to need you to dress the part. If you're going to be a Christian, dress and act like a Christian. And let the Lord have his way so our communication won't be corrupt. The single motion of the tongue can inflame or irritate a man. The single motion of a tongue can inflame a situation or it can irritate a man. And the enemy waits for what comes out your mouth because he can't read your mind. So he puts and tries hindering situations just to see where you're at. Okay, point three. I thought y'all would get that. Point three. Okay, all right. Point three. Let your words filter through God first. Okay, you want to let the Lord have his way. Let your words filter through God first. In other words, run it by him first. And we'll see. We're wondering why you ain't talking as much. Because when you ran it by him, he said, shut your mouth. Ask the Lord, should I cuss him out? No. Should I fuss him out? No. Why not run it by God first? The problem is we know what he's going to say. That's why we don't run it by God. I tell people all the time, pray about it. And I see them do totally opposite than what we discuss. You ain't running by God, because if you run it by God, God going to say, you remember when you was in that situation. And anytime you see someone in a rut, look at them and restore them, such a one. Run it by God first. Lord, I'm going to run it by you first. As man as I am, I'm going to run it by you first. And as trouble as I am, I'm going to run it by you first because I want you to filter my words. And I want my words to be seasoned with grace. And I had to tell him back in the day, I'm only saying this once because I asked God to filter this one. But you may catch me in my unfiltered days. Lord, season my words with grace. And give me some time here. Because right now I respond off a bitter heart. And most of our words are responding off a bitter heart. That's why words slip out your mouth. Because you've been troubled. And you're going to say something that you wish you never said. Because of a bitter heart. But if you run it by God first, he can work on your heart. Work in your spirit. Change your mind and change your talk before you ask and tell someone off. Ask the Lord, Lord, what you think? I'm going to say this and this and this, but what you think? Have you noticed some of your fussing situations have been prolonged? Because the Spirit of God has been giving you time to make it right. And you'll wake up in the midnight just to fuss him out. Have you noticed the line was busy? That was God letting you get yourself together. Have you noticed you were stuck in traffic? That was God letting you get yourself together. Watch what you. Run it by the Lord first. Okay, now, why do I need to run it by the Lord first? Look at verse 9. Therewith bless we God, even the Father. And therewith, hold on, curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. He said, my brethren, these things ought not so to be. How can blessings and I was troubled, and I could say this. I was troubled. I was talking to a member at another church, and Lord, help us, help the pastors, and help us, Lord, to stay on the path called straight. This member was troubled, and I said, how are you doing in your church? I don't go there no more. I said, why not? They said, we was leaving church service, and it was crowded, and I was trying to go out, but someone was trying to get my parking space, and because I didn't get out fast enough, they cussed me out in the church parking lot. Now, how can blessings, how can you sing praises and curse at the same time? Can I tell you something? If the water came out salty, the water inside is salty. It can't be salty on the inside and fresh water on the outside. When you acting like a hypocrite and trying to show one thing and doing another, I know your heart troubled. I know it's messing you up. I know you can't sleep at night because you're bitter. But if you let it go and say, Lord, give me and grant me self-control, so what comes out of my mouth can reflect what's on the inside. And if you're still working on the inside, then don't let me say nothing until it's changed. Zacharias, the angel said, your wife gonna have a baby. John the Baptist. He didn't believe it. And the Lord shut his mouth up. Until if you understood the hand of God and the movement of God over your life, he moved you out of some situations because you would have been running your mouth and messed yourself up. The reason why the tongue is contaminated, has contaminated our lives, because it expresses the heart at that moment. And then we slip. We say, I didn't mean to say that, because you responded that moment. But you should have ran it by the Lord first. There's a Chinese custom that says back in the day, there's a tradition that they would do, Reverend Allen, so that they won't show disrespect to the other party. They will remain silent until the other party was finished. They said that shows sign of self-control. Because I may want to say something, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. So let me just stay here. And while you're talking, God's working on the inside. Let me just keep quiet. Because if I respond quickly, have you ever responded to someone, they said, that's not even what I was saying. You done got all worked up. I ain't doing nothing. That's not what I asked you. I was just telling you. But you responded so quickly. You don't, I ain't telling you nothing. Forget it. I was going to tell you I was going to treat you to dinner. But you up there running your mouth. We ain't going nowhere. Have you ever responded too fast and wished that you kept your mouth shut? It takes one who trusts God to say, Lord, grant me self-control. And while the situation is going, work on the inside. Look at somebody and say, watch your mouth.